space that has a full AV, and it's allowed, and it's pretty much set up for the community to be able to use it for HOA meetings, resident meetings, and things like that, for the things in which you guys are conducting there in close proximity to the site. A couple of other things that are in there is that public auditorium, which is a really nice size auditorium that, again, we can do much larger events and larger space, larger things within that as well. And then also the ballrooms also, again, allow us to do things for the residents and for the community members. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody got that from that presentation.
Thank you very much for that clarification. With that, Mr. Bob Hughes.
Great, and actually that's a great lead into this slide, because I think we've talked about this multiple times through this process, how the vision of this campus has always been one that really is a physical representation of symbolically the police and the community, fire and the community rescue, everybody together as part of the community. And as Marshall said, in the leadership building here, there are those opportunities to bring people in. But if you see here also, we have what we call the PT field, D, and a pavilion, which is E on the end of it. And the whole concept is that pavilion is as much a part of the park system as it is our campus. And that field is a field that on weekends, when it's not being used for training or the facilities here, or in the evening, you could be down there with your kids kicking a soccer ball around. So that notion that we have this duality of places and activities, it's really great to see it take.
Before we run out of time here, to Chief Tyus, who's going to give us the security update for APD.
Hey, good afternoon. No, I was enjoying that presentation as much as anyone. My officers are going to be happy to get into that facility. So thank you for the update. And actually, Chief Shearbaum and I was just going back and forth about how we can get that presentation to the officers who are out there securing that site. So that just kind of segues into what I'm going to talk about. So I'm sure you may have been seeing officers out there. So what we've committed is like at least twice a week, we take 20 to 25 officers out there, break them up into smaller groups, and they grid that property off, and they walk that entire property looking for any trespassers that may be out there, look for any tree houses they may have started building, and also looking for supplies that they may be stockpiling in the woods. Knock on wood, we haven't met any resistance out there while we've been on that property. And we have been able to locate several caches of supplies, including everything from a chainsaw to two-way radios. So anytime we locate stuff out there, we bring in our federal and state partners, they take a look at it, and we look at it for investigative evidence. While we physically patrol that property at least twice a week, we also put our drone up over there in the area. We were putting our helicopter up, but we realized it was just causing too big of a disruption to the neighborhood. So we decided to go small. So now we'll put our drone up at least once or twice a week. And even though we only have the big contingent of people out there twice a week, Major Canton, Lieutenant Thomas, they walk that property almost daily, just looking for trespassers and looking for things. Again, we haven't really seen anything, but we just ask the residents, be alert. If you see anything suspicious, please reach out to us. And if we're having any large scale operations out there, I'll be sure to push out an email or something to everybody in the group. Anybody have any questions for me?
Thank you for that update. The floor is open for questions.
Chief Tyus, I just want to commend you for the job that you're doing. I know that it's a very large property, and so I know that, again, it's also been very hot days and what feels like 100+ degree weather. And so I appreciate everybody being out there and, again, continuing to do the work. And so I know it's not easy, but I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We appreciate that.
Thank you. I see Miss Jacqueline Rainey, your hand is raised.
No objection to anything, but I just wanted to say I enjoyed watching the different projects, the way they are designed and the way the whole area is designed. It looks like it's going to be very, very good for the police officers and the firemen and rescue people. So I'm looking forward to it being completed.
I second
Thank
that.
you for that, Jacqueline.
Yes.
Ms. Rainey, I'd just like to add that I appreciate the comments, and I think you're 100% right about the work that it'll do for police and fire, and again, not just in Atlanta, but in the region for public safety professionals. When you think about EMS and their life-saving training, but I also have just a big of hope that the facility will also be as useful to the community as it will to the public safety professionals.
It was nice to see some of the community facing elements and get a much better grasp on what those elements actually look like, and the amount of thought that has gone into it, and our feedback that has been received and incorporated. So really happy to see all of the progress being made.